All right, back in the day, when you were running your own department, if you had to hire a superhero, who would it have been?
I would probably look for somebody who was a lot smarter than me.
But Batman or Superman or Iron Man, who would have been your superhero?
I don't know as I would have looked for a superhero as much as I would have looked for people that really know how to connect with the business. And I think rather than superhero-dom, that's about getting people who have the right kind of focus on a business relationship, on the power of inquisitiveness, on the ability to adapt, because if we tend to reach, I think, very often into areas for superheroes that end up not really being able to connect with the business. And I think if we've learned something over the years, and it's come up in the conversations here this week, is that we're starting to see this transition away from the more traditional places where you find superheroes in the security business to a more established area of finding people who really know how to succeed in business, how to take what the superheroes in security know and translate that into business speak. So, I guess I'm evading the question, but at the same time, I'm thinking that we're transitioning away from a traditional idea about what a superhero is in this business. I think that's kind of how I would approach it.
If you're looking at the traits of an emerging leader in this industry and somebody that you would want to hire on your staff, give me top 3 traits that you want to see.
Well, I think I just nailed one of them, and it's this notion of the ability to relate, the idea of understanding what it takes to establish a meaningful, results-oriented relationship with a very diverse clientele. The business we're in, when you think about it, runs the gamut from the normal routine operations where you're trying to build preventive and detective measures to one where you're in crisis mode. So finding folks who are have that ability to be steady, to be able to establish the relationships that help them penetrate the business, these diverse businesses that we have in our client base, help penetrate that diversity in a way that establishes a long-term, meaningful relationship that works on an ongoing basis, so that we become part of the business process. We're not attached to it. We're not trying to respond to it in ways that are foreign to that business. And then when the chips are down, when everything is really hitting the fan, that relationship comes through. I think Mike Howard summed it up very nicely today when he talked about the fact that he wasn't getting a lot of phone calls when there was a crisis. Why? Because there was a lot of trust. So I think this notion of relationship management has got to be right at the top of the list of competencies that people that I would hire. I mean, it goes without saying the intelligence, the experience, but it's that diversity of experience and that ability to translate it to the business that I would look for.
You have really been a pioneer in the field of bringing the value proposition of security across to the enterprise. and as you said time and again, you can't do that unless you've got a baseline, a metrics, if you will, to really show the C-suite what you're bringing to the table. Tell us a little bit about what metrics means to you as far as a security practitioner, and how when you were looking to sell yourself to the business, how it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, I had a mentor in my business who was at Fidelity, who was an outstanding leader in terms of his ability to translate performance measures for everything within his scope. And when I came into that organization and under his wing, he made it very clear that there were a set of expectations around performance management. And I think what I've done is, over time, is find different ways to flesh out of the work breakdown structure, if you will, of a security organization, a corporate security organization, and then flesh out of each one of those what are some key performance measures. And I think that the notion of measurement is really what I would underscore. Metrics are the fuel, or the outputs of a measurement system. So I try not to focus as much on the metrics as I do on what performance measures, key performance measures, what key risk indicators are we going to tie our programs to, because that then allows us to translate into this notion of business excellence, operational excellence. How do we define excellence? We define measurement parameters around what is excellence in corporate security. And we have to do that for each and every one of the programs. I don't know how you manage in this business if you don't have measures associated with the work you're doing. So to me, measuring is management, and metrics are the outputs of that process.
An event like this, where you're getting, again, the diversity of knowledge and market expertise, how important is an event like this to kind of forging that foundation of the new leadership in this industry?
Well, I think it's extraordinarily important, but it's really, we live in our little cocoons on a day-to-day basis, and where do we find the opportunities to break away from that, to get new ideas, to rub elbows with people where you can learn from them? I think we can fall into the trap of doing things the same way over and over again. Repetition is very easy for us. Well, I think events like this, where you've got people who have chosen to come, they're not driven here, they've chosen to come because they want to learn, they want to exchange ideas. And I think the diversity of the kinds and levels of people are here, the combination of technology and practitioners, I think bring together a really nice chemistry for thinking outside the box. So there's a lot of fresh thinking, there's a lot of new ideas, and when we have that opportunity, then we're still in learning mode. We're not in steady state. So I think it's a great opportunity. This has been a great experience for everybody from what I've heard.